Welcome to Bourbon and a Baby. My name is Jay. Max will not be joining us today because, believe it or not, Max has not had any bourbon in the year 2019, so he cannot pick his whiskey of the year. So we're here. We're at the final of my whiskey of the year for 2019. So basically, just to kind of recap what I did, I picked from a pool of only bourbons or whiskeys that I personally reviewed this year in 2019 on my channel. So that was 15 different whiskeys. Of those 15, I narrowed that down to my 8 favorite of those. And then I did 2 blind flights, which you can watch. You can go back and watch the flight clubs I did of those. I did those blind in two different sets of 4 and picked my favorite of each of those flights. So here we are, we're at the final. The favorite of flight number 1 was Weller Antique 107, and my favorite of flight number 2 was Uncle Nearest 1856. So this is exciting. We have kind of the old dog versus the new dog. We have the kind of the giant of the bourbon industry, Weller, which is one of the biggest names in bourbon, one of the most sought after names in bourbon when it comes to trying to find and buy bottles of basically any Weller product, made by Buffalo Trace, one of the most popular distilleries in all of bourbon. And then we have Uncle Nearest 1856. Uncle Nearest, a brand new distillery. Now this is sourced product, but what they've done there is, in just a short time, is absolutely phenomenal, and they're putting out such great stuff at such an early part in their history, and they're doing a lot of things to bring history back into bourbon and whiskey, and it's just really cool. So real excited to see how this plays out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just try these out. I don't know which is which. I'm going to taste each one, and then I'm going to pick which one is my favorite. Let's start off with A here. Let's check the nose. Really sweet. Just kind of real traditional bourbon's aromas. Get sugar, like a white sugar on this one. I get vanilla, I get caramel. There's some undertones of brown sugar, but a little more faint. I can taste some barrel influence here. I can smell some barrel influence here. Some of that charred oak can pick up. I can tell you what it does when I smell this. I smell this and I want to drink it. So I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the palate. Cheers. This one's got a spiciness to it. Spicy both in terms of heat and in just spice. So like a little black peppery. But also you can definitely tell there's some heat to it. Now, one of these whiskeys is 100 proof and the other is 107. So they're both either 100 proof or above. So yeah, definitely does put off some heat. Like I said, and you get kind of that black peppery spice right up front. So I'm going to go in for another taste here. I'm getting some cinnamon here now. Cinnamon, black pepper. I can taste that oak. And then like it just kind of mellows and it kind of nestles and it goes down real soft. It's very warming. It gives you a nice hug. Has a nice medium to long finish. It's not like a super long finish, but it's not short either. So kind of that I'd say even longer than just like a traditional medium. It sticks around a little bit. But yeah, obviously very enjoyable. Let's go ahead and check out B. I get more brown sugar notes on this. I get more caramel. I get a hint of kind of more of a zesty, almost like an orange zest note, just a little bit, not much. So yeah, maybe just even a little bit more of a citrusy note too, but really thick and heavy on that caramel and that brown sugar. So let's go ahead and give this a taste. Cheers. Definitely getting some of those darker notes on this one. I'm getting notes that you would traditionally get with a rye. So I might sound stupid if this is the Weller 107 because it's a wheated bourbon. But you can also get that off of the barrel as well. But yeah, I get some of those, that brown sugar, I get a little bit of that cinnamon. I get some of those kind of rye pumpernickel notes. And then it just has this kind of nice, soft, warm feeling as well when it goes down. So kind of two different experiences here, both very, very good, both very pleasant. I'm gonna want to kind of go back and forth with these a little bit and just kind of see which experience I like the best, which one is my whiskey of the year for 2019. So I'll be back in just a moment. For B here, getting a bit kind of that charcoaly, a little bit, even a little bit mapley on the finish as well. That's really good. A definitely has more heat. After going back and forth, I can definitely tell that A at least feels like it is drinking at a higher ABV, but a lot sweeter with a dash of cinnamon. B, a little bit more mellow, still nice and warm, but an easy drinker. So kind of my decision is kind of tough here because you're getting almost two opposite end experiences, and that's always difficult to judge in a blind flight like this. Like, which one do I really like better? Because I really like both, and obviously taste is subjective. This is one man's opinion, right? But at the end of the day, when I think of drinking bourbon, I want a really good experience. I want to feel good. I want to be able to kind of sit with it and be able to pick out flavors. I want to be able to share it with people and suggest it to people and hope that they enjoy it as much as I do, or in some cases more, in some cases less. But you know, if I suggest something to somebody, I really do hope that they would like it. And I think the one that I'm gonna choose is the one that just my personal preference that I enjoy the best. The best overall experience for me, the one that I think tastes, lines up more to my profile, and that's gonna be Bourbon B. So let's find out what that is. So all right, 2019 Bourbon and a Baby's Whiskey of the Year, B. Uncle Nearest 1856. Confetti, bring it down. All right, Uncle Nearest 1856. If you watched my first, the first semifinal I put out, I did make a couple of predictions. I said going in that I thought maybe New Riff Bottled and Bond and Uncle Nearest 1856 might be the two that I pick, or it might be in the final, or be one of the two that I pick. So that does, I wasn't necessarily rooting for that to happen, but it does kind of confirm that I love this whiskey, Uncle Nearest 1856. It's after going through this process of a couple different blind flights, this stood up. This stood up against Weller Antique 107. Back in my semifinal number 2, it beat out Henry McKenna 10 year. So this stands up against some pretty amazing whiskeys or bourbons, and again, that's my palate. It's what I enjoy, but I think you would like it too. So if you have not yet had Uncle Nearest 1856, I definitely suggest it. It's my whiskey of the year. So so great. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Hopefully you find this useful. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You can follow Max and myself on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We are at Bourbon and a Baby on all those platforms. And last but not least, get yourself a nice, warm, cozy Bourbon and a Baby hoodie like this one at our shop at Spreadshirt. You can find the link in the description below. Uncle Nearest 1856. Cheers. That is a fine, fine whiskey.
Bye.